Hey, and welcome to Teagsley Talks. I'm Tegan, a wellness enthusiast, conscious creator, and life learner, where we talk all things well-being, spirituality, lifestyle, and mindset. I give you an inside look at my brain, my habits, and the life I live, so together we can live our dream lives. Here we are a community of loving souls wanting to live incredible lives and feel wildly good doing it. Join me every week as I download the next potty of goodness.
Hello, my lovely souls, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm Teags, your host, and today I'm going to share 3 things you absolutely have to stop doing if you want to have energy. 3 things to stop eating if you want to have energy. If you are feeling lethargic, tired, you just don't have the energy, or after food you just feel blah, this podcast is for you. But before we dive in, we're going to do our regular things that we go through before we dive in. If you don't want to do all the rest, you're obviously welcome to skip through, but I'm assuming you're here because you want to do some breath work and get a little life update and set intention for your week. So let's dive in. Let's start with our 3 rounds of breath. If you have the ability, place your hand on your belly, and we're going to do some diaphragmatic breathing. Really move our belly. A lot of women, we have this tendency to hold our belly. I can't speak on behalf of men, but I can definitely speak on behalf of women that, a lot of us grow up wanting to have this flat belly, and we shame ourselves for having certain belly shapes. So today we are going to release that, and we're going to move our belly. So we will breathe in through the nostrils and out through the mouth, and as we breathe, we really want to feel our belly rise. So when you're ready, deep breath in and exhale out the mouth. Now deep breath in, really expand through the belly. And exhale, relax the belly back down. Last one, big breath in, fill the belly. And exhale out. Diaphragmatic breath allows this system in your body to calm your nervous system. It allows your nervous system to come into its parasympathetic and to come into rest and digest. So 1, you can digest whatever food you've eaten or that you're about to eat. Plus, you can digest life. You can digest this podcast and using that breath in any sort of circumstance that you can, where you need to either rest and digest. And that isn't just physical food, it's information, it's situations, all of those types of things. So let's dive into a little life update. I have a few things that I want to touch on today. If you are a regular listener, you know that we didn't have a podcast last week. I'm really trying to honor my energy at the moment with everything that I'm trying to heal in my health. So I decided to put my energy into Learn to Meditate, my online 6-week program that I have coming so soon. I think everything is pretty much done. I just need to check it one more time, set a date, and get started. So if you are wanting to learn to meditate and you don't want one of those courses where it gives you a certificate at the end. You want to learn to meditate from someone who's been meditating for years, who is relatable, who has had the anger, who's had the sadness, the grief, all of the things, and you want to figure out how to meditate for yourself and what you've got going on in your life. This course is for you. It's going to be amazing. Honestly, I was going through the course and getting all my presentations ready, and honestly, I just wish I had this when I was 9, when I first started to learn to meditate, because there is so much goodness in this, and it's a mix of yogic philosophy, Ayurvedic philosophy, my own experience, and I'm just mixing everything in there for anyone who wants to learn to meditate. You're starting out, or you've been meditating and you just haven't found the right thing for you. This is for you. So anyway, that is coming soon. Keep an eye out for that. Let's talk about hiking Mt Beerwah. I posted a few photos of this when I did it with my friend Chloe, and I was still in the trenches of all of the emotions that I went on that hike. If you are local to Sunny Coast, or if you have climbed Mt Beerwah, you will be well aware that it's not actually a hike. It's more of a scramble. Now, for those like me that aren't actually sure of what a scramble is, it's basically like a rock climbing. So you would be finding spots for your fingertips to grip into to lift your body weight up. It's like placing the ends of your toes, like just your toes, on the rock to lift yourself up. It's like this for an hour to an hour and a half, however long it takes you to get up. It is so hard. And I definitely think that I'm quite fit. I love hiking. I love the outdoors. I'm not afraid of heights. I feel like I can do hard things. But this hike was so hard. And I am so proud because there were so many moments that I was thinking, I don't know that I can do this. And there were 2 spots where I said to Chloe, I don't know that I can do this. Like, I don't know if I can go up or down right now. Like, I was stuck in these positions. And it's not like it's on a 45-degree angle, or it's not 90 degrees and it's not 45. It's like in between there. It's quite vertical in a lot of areas. And basically, you climb up this rock face for an hour and a half or hour, however long it takes you. And most of it, 95% of it, is this scramble. And Chloe had warned me. She said it's a bit more of a scramble. It's pretty sketchy, blah, blah, blah. In my head, I'm thinking, that's fine. Like, I'll just hike it. Like, it's all good. And I think, I've done Carragini, I've done Equestro, like I've done all these like supposedly class 5 or 6 or however they class the hikes. I was thinking, yeah, it should be fine. Like, you'll be there, like, should be all good. And I really didn't ask any questions. I honestly just thought it'll be all good. I wore my oldest trainers that I take to the Pacific Islands because they're the dirtiest and I don't mind that they get ruined. And they are white sneakers, but they're actually not white anymore. And I took them just thinking it would be fine. Like, I always hike in these shoes. And Chloe was wearing her hiking boots. And I was like, should be all good. So we walk up, it's probably like a kilometer to get to the actual bottom of the mountain, maybe a kilometer. And then you reach this rock face and it's basically like vertically up and you scramble up it and you kind of can't see the next phase. So you unknowingly think it's just that first section that's vertical. But you reach the next section and then you can see, and then you reach the next section. So we get to the bottom and I'm thinking, cool, it's just this part of the rock face. Like, it looks super tricky, very hard, like, it'll be all good. So we get started and I'm like, oh my God, like, holy heck, wow. Where am I putting my hands? Where am I putting my feet? I'm like, Chloe, where did you go? So I kind of watch where Chloe is hiking and putting her feet in her hands so I can do the same. And the first section, I'm thinking, oh my God, like, how am I going to get down this? Like, this is so scary. I'm now 6 meters high, I would say, and it feels vertical. How the hell am I going to get down? Not to mention, we also had backpacks on, and the backpack would have been like between 5 to 10 kilos, I guess. I'm not really sure. And we're hiking up, and I very quickly realized my shoes are like absolutely not helpful. There is no grip. They are so old. They have basically flat bottoms that they are not helpful at all. They're almost actually dangerous. So Chloe was like, Teags, I reckon take your shoes off and climb in bare feet. I was like, cool. How the hell am I going to get my shoes off while I'm literally standing against this rock? And I'm like, my bag's heavy. I've got to get my shoes off. My feet have just enough space to actually get my shoes off. I can't even stand vertically up. I'm on the side of this cliff. I tie my shoes to my bag and my hands are shaking. And then I look down and I'm like, oh my God, what have I got myself into? And I had this massive realization, I'm well in over my head. But I was thinking, I've got Chloe, I'll be all good. And then, so I keep hiking and I'm in bare feet now. I'm just gripping on by my toes. I'm feeling a lot more comfortable barefoot. And yeah, so basically we keep hiking and my nerves basically just get worse and worse, on the verge of feeling quite anxious, because in my mind I'm thinking tomorrow I have to climb down. And not to mention it was getting quite late in the day and I was quite concerned if we were going to reach there before the sun went down. And we come across all these people and everyone just seems like it's just normal to them, and like they're locals, they all do it all the time, and they were making it look so easy and everyone had all the right gear, and I'm just hiking up in bare feet. There were actually other barefoot people that were just like marching up, and basically we get almost to the top and I'm in this section and I've put my foot like so far away from me, and in this moment I'm thinking I'm gonna fall, but I'm not gonna fall because I will not allow that. But like I'm in the worst position. My center of balance is so far on the outside of my body. What am I going to do? And I just had this moment where I'm like, oh, holy shit, like how, like I'm so anxious. I became overwhelmingly anxious. And I'm just thinking, how the hell am I going to get up, let alone how am I going to get down? So I was really contemplating like, what am I going to do? It's borderline. The sun has started to go down. What are we going to do? Basically, I just had to keep telling myself, like, you've got this. Chloe's doing it. There's other people around that are doing it. Like, you've got this. You can do this. You can do hard things. You're strong. You're fit. You're so capable. And I basically had to just keep leaning into the fact that I can trust myself to get myself up there. And I would keep thinking, there's other people older than me, maybe less capable, and they're doing the hike. So I was just telling myself, you've got this, you can do it. And then Chloe like, look back, look at the sunset. And I looked and I was riddled in fear. I have never been afraid of heights. Like I don't have a fear of heights. And I looked down to observe the sunset and it was so beautiful, but we were so high up and it was about to get dark. And once I realized it was about to get dark, my fear and my nerves really set in because it was already hard enough, let alone in the dark. We stopped for a moment, got our head torches and kept going up. And it actually wasn't too far after the sun went down that we came to the top. The last sort of section to get to the top, I think because in my head, I knew we were getting close, that my fear was calming down. And I think I'd also thought in my head, I've done so much hard climbing already, I can keep going. I can keep going to the top. And Chloe was so beautiful. She kept reassuring me and saying like, this is how far we've got. And she would keep telling me what was coming. So she was amazing. And she is just a natural, like she's super outdoorsy, grew up outdoors and so comfortable in the outdoors. And I thought I was comfortable in the outdoors, but no, she is extremely comfortable in the outdoors. Anyway, so we climbed for an hour and 20 minutes to get to the top. Definitely took longer because I was so slow and so stressed. And it was also in the dark, so we were a bit slower at the top end. And also just stopping and like talking to everyone. And Chloe was so comfortable just stopping like mid-hang on the side of the rock just to chat to people. And I literally couldn't talk. I said to Chloe on the way back home, I said, did I even speak on the way up? I was like, I must be the worst hiking buddy. Honestly, she's the most beautiful human. So yeah, we climbed for an hour and 20 to get to the top. And then we set up our little tent. And I actually did, as we walked into the bush, I said like a Indigenous prayer just to say like what our intentions were, because I'm aware of the Indigenous story. So I did kind of like a blessing for us, just in my mind to the spirits. And then, yeah, so we camped at the top and basically I barely slept. I couldn't even eat dinner. I was so anxious about getting down, which is wild because actually going down is way easier and way faster. And the fact that Chloe said that to me brought me so much peace. It took me 4 meditations to get to sleep for the night. And no, I think it took me 2 to get to sleep. Then I woke up in the middle of the night, did another one, woke up again, did another one. So I'm really grateful for having guided meditations that could help me wind down my nervous system, because sometimes when you're in such a heightened state of stress and anxious thoughts, you just need someone else to guide you through a meditation to help wind you down. Because I know all the things. I know what the breath does, right? But when you're in such a state, it just helps so much to have someone else's calming voice, the breath, and the music that is quite healing. So that was really interesting to use as I went through the feelings and the emotions that I was feeling. In the morning, I was just thinking, we need to get to the top of sunrise so I can start on a decline and see how we go. And the climb up to the top for the sunrise was quite easy. I mean, it was still a challenge, but it wasn't nearly as hard as the actual climb. And then we watched the sunrise come up, and it was so beautiful because you can see so much. You see the sun come up over the ocean. You can see all the other mountains up there. It was so beautiful. And we stayed up there for a while. We actually had chocolate for breakfast. It was like a little reward. I just think like that is something I would never allow myself to have or do. There is absolutely no science behind that being good for you. But the joy that it brought Chloe and I outweighed anything. It was so fun, felt so childlike, so playful, so joyful. And yeah, I really loved that so much. And then, yeah, we took some photos, headed back down, and that first part of the decline. And also, on the way back down, Chloe actually gave me her boots. So I wore her boots down. She came down barefoot. And she also took more weight. She took the bigger bag and more weight so I could go down with less weight. Honestly, she's the nicest freaking human being. And when we came back down to where we camped, we heard that there was a bat cave. So we went back and to find the bat cave, and we climbed down this tiny little hole in the wall and then down and into this very tiny cave. Like you had to squat to be in there, and then there were little micro bats in there. And that was just, at first I couldn't go in because I'm slightly like, I'm not claustrophobic, but I definitely have the thoughts that what if this cave crumbles? So anyway, Chloe went first and then I went second, and it was just so fun to see them, and they were so cute and little. And then we made our way out of the cave, and then we started the descent down the hill. Once I first got started in going down, you basically like bum shuffle your whole way down. You have like your palms, your feet, and your butt to help you get down. And this was so fun. We basically just slid our way down the mountain. Chloe ripped her pants. It was so funny. Honestly, I think we just giggled our whole way down. And it's way easier going down because you just have that advantage of, yeah, your bum sliding and the grip is just in your palms, and you don't have to like use your fingertips and your toe tips to get you up. You're just like sliding yourself down parts of the rock. So that was way easier. Definitely were some really hard sections, but way easier than climbing up. And it took us 40 minutes to get all the way from the top to the bottom. It was so rewarding coming down, especially once that fear had left and I was able to come into joy and enjoy the trek down. We got to the bottom and it was so, like, I just felt so accomplished that I had gotten down without basically having a panic attack or needing the airlifting helicopter to come get me, because I did have nightmares of that. Anyway, so we got to the bottom and it was so rewarding, and I'm so grateful of Chloe. We went to a little waterfall and had a little nudie swim. It was freezing. Like I think I lasted like a second in the water and then got out. It was so fun. And then we grabbed a little coffee in town, and it was the most wholesome 24 hours. I just love being outdoors, and I do really love pushing myself outside of my comfort with the help of others. I don't think I would do that alone because it is quite risky, and my brain has this part of me that really examines all the things that could go wrong. And I know it's also in my human design, one of the gates. So I just have this like very logical brain to see what could unfold, which definitely does hold me back sometimes. So it was really great having Chloe there, that she could just guide this beautiful, fun hike. I just trusted her and she helped me trust myself, and it was beautiful. And it's crazy to witness what fear does to you and what your mind does and how powerful it is. Honestly, I was speaking to a friend yesterday who's going through quite a tough time, and she is staying so positive because it's so easy to fall into fear and anxious thoughts, and to choose better thoughts, it feels hard, but it's so much more rewarding. I was just watching my fear mind like take over, and then I had to keep like reprogramming, coming back, reprogramming. So I really learned a lesson of how powerful fear can be, but in the presence of positive thinking and like consciously choosing better thoughts, you can change that fear. So that was really interesting, super fun hike. The day after, I said to Zach, I will never do that again, but now it's been a couple of weeks and I would do it again. I actually just think that I want to get some proper hiking boots before I do it again, because the hiking boots are actually game changing. To have toe grip really helped wildly compared to my own toe grip. If you are in the Sunny Coast and you're looking for a crazy hard hike, go and do Mt Beerwah. Now, the next update is my health. This last fortnight it's been really good. I've really been taking note of how my body feels with certain foods. And this is definitely something that I'm super conscious on anyway, but even things like tomato, citrus, certain apples, like really listening to how my body feels after every single food, rather than me just going, yeah, apples are good for you, eat it. Rather than going, yeah, just get bloated after eating apples. So yeah, I've been really witnessing what feels good in my body. I've also still been like, I'm not 100% eating this low histamine diet. I am still enjoying things here and there. To eat 100% low histamine, it's very restrictive, and I need to do this for a very long time. So to make it sustainable and possible for me mentally, physically, is to incorporate some like things that I shouldn't be eating. Like, we had pizza one night, and did I feel amazing after it? No. But it's just then getting straight back on track the next day with all my meals, making sure that they are low histamine. I have definitely noticed a shift in my energy. I'm definitely starting to feel more energetic, more clear, especially now that I'm on the iron supplement. That has really helped me. I think also my stomach is being able to process things better because of the protocols, the other supplements that I'm on. And I think also the inflammation is going down. I'm definitely feeling less inflamed. I've started doing a lymph massage most mornings. Some mornings I forget still, it's not fully embedded into my brain, but I have been doing a lymph massage. If you want it, I can send you the link. It's just on YouTube. I've just been following the supplements protocol. I've literally had to write a list because there's so many and I cannot remember to take them all with or without food, morning, afternoon, evening. So I've been doing that. I've also been doing lots of foot baths, which, did I tell you that last time? I can't remember, but I've been having Epsom salt foot baths, and honestly, I can't even explain how amazing it is for your nervous system. I think I was telling you guys this, but if you're listening to this and this is like interesting to you, go and get yourself some Epsom salts. It feels so good. I've also been really making sure I do put on my red glasses because sometimes I forget. I've also been doing body brushing again, still oiling, just lots of things for my nervous system. And I spoke on Instagram quite a few days ago about just enjoying peace and quiet. Like, I'm definitely someone who always has music playing. I always would pop YouTube videos on just in the background, like while I was either cleaning the house or writing my podcast or literally just doing anything. I would have something on in the background. And I've just really been not doing that and being really present and allowing the sounds of nature to absorb into my soul, and it's been amazing. Honestly, it's so nice just having the sounds of nature around the house rather than putting music on or YouTube or whatever the thing is. And even in the car, I've been driving with no music on, and I've just been allowing myself to have moments just to be. Like, I went to a cafe before the gym the other day because I forgot my fob key, so I had to wait till they came at 3 o'clock. So I had an hour to kill. So I was like, I'm going to go to the cafe here, grab a coconut water, and just enjoyed like the noises around me rather than being on my phone for the whole time. And that just feels so good. And just at home, I'll just sit on the couch and like watch outside, just watching the birds, the trees. And yeah, like driving, not putting podcasts or music on, just like driving and observing and just listening and having the fresh air. Like I've just really tried to have more stillness, more quietness in my days. And now I've noticed that I'm craving it. What was I doing? Oh, I had some stuff to catch up on from Hillary's course that I'm doing. And I was craving for it to be done so I could have stillness. I had only 20 minutes left to watch, and I was like, just get through the 20 minutes and then you can have your stillness, because I know that you won't come back to it. So just finish watching it. And I love that I'm noticing now when I'm craving it, because I always put music on or YouTube, and especially when Zach's not here, like I would fill the space. Not always, but like a lot of the time. So I've really been making sure that I enjoy the quietness. And even when Zach is here, like he will have his things on. So it's been really nice to just enjoy the quietness when I can. I've just been doing all of the things for my nervous system, all the things for my health. Things are feeling really good. I definitely have a lot more energy than I did 2 or 3 weeks ago when I was like at my darkest hour of feeling terrible. I'm feeling a lot more joyful, a lot more happy. So things are looking good, guys. I'll keep you updated on all of the things. I've got 2 more weeks of this protocol and then I will change to the next one. I also, for my health, I actually also see my acupuncturist. I've been seeing him since I moved here and he's been helping me with so many things. My cycle has finally lengthened back to where it pretty well should be. It's just gradually gotten longer by a day or so over the last few months, which has been good. And he's been helping me with my back, which is on and off, so still something to work on. I thought I'd fully healed it, but maybe I didn't. But I went to him about my naturopath and what she had recommended and based on my bloods. And I wanted to show him because I love having different opinions, and my naturopath is quite meat-based, and that doesn't really resonate with me. And my acupuncturist, he's also pescatarian. So I really obviously resonate with him. And I wish that I knew about the naturopath before I went ahead, but it doesn't matter. Everything happens for a reason. And she's given me all this great information anyway. So I went to see Dita, and basically he helped me see things in a different light, and he's super positive as well. Like one thing that I noticed with my naturopath is I didn't feel very enlightened or empowered after the appointment. I felt quite heavy, dark, things were hard, overwhelmed. And once I seen Dita, I just had this new light on things, and I'm so grateful that I listened to my intuition to take him the results to also get his opinion. And he had some different opinions, but one thing that he did do was he talked about my liver, and basically I have a really lazy liver, and that is why I process fats really slowly, and that's why they don't make me feel very good. And I think I've spoken about that on the podcast before. Like if I have too much avocado, too many nuts, like fish and chips, like things that are deep fried, I feel terrible after, and it's really slow to move through me, and I really slow down after eating them. And basically my blood test shows that my liver enzyme is really low and lazy. Basically he said I have liver qi shu, which is I have like a blocked liver qi. So we worked on that, and after that I felt so much better. I had like this new lot of energy, and I think also just seeing him and feeling more empowered and enlightened was really beneficial for me. And I'm absolutely not dissing what the naturopath says and like her values and stuff. I just honestly needed both of them to have their eyes over it to help me get better in a way that feels aligned to me. Now, I want to talk to this meat theory. For those that know me really well, and if you're new here, I've been pescatarian for 11 years now. And I first went vegan or veggie and then went vegan for a bit. Didn't feel good. Then I started eating fish and that felt really good. Now, the reason I don't eat meat is, one, because I don't enjoy the idea of killing an animal. I eat fish because I know I can catch a fish and I can kill a fish. Does it take a lot from me? Yeah, I do struggle to kill a fish still, or any sea life, but I can do it. And I just basically, when I do it, I thank the universe for providing me with that food and the opportunity to thrive and those types of things. And the reason I don't eat meat is because I never really loved meat. I did enjoy a few certain varieties of meat and cuts and whatnot, but I never loved it. And as a kid, I was just an animal kid. I just loved lots of animals. I could not think of the idea of killing an animal. I remember we'd go fishing with Dad and I'd make sure that we kissed it and let it go, like Rex Hunt, if anyone ever remembers watching Rex Hunt. And then we had a cow and we killed it for the freezer. And as a kid, that just did not sit well with me. And I really struggled to eat the meat of my pet. And yes, since then, I just have really been quite against animal cruelty and killing animals for food. And I just honestly could not do it myself. So I just thought I shouldn't eat it. There's also a lot of science around meat where it's slow to process. Humans don't necessarily need it. And the hormones in the animal isn't great for human consumption. There's all these sciences now that are proving that animals aren't good to consume. But like on the internet and with lots of studies, you will also then find the opposite. So if you were to literally Google, is eating watermelon good for you? There will be something science-backed that says yes, and there will be something science-backed that says no. It is with everything. And the health industry is so young and developing every single day. Science and studies are still happening today to see what actually is good for the human body. So in this last year of not feeling very well, I have started to have the occasional thought about eating meat. Now, this is really weird for me because I've been pescatarian for 11 years. I'm 32, and the idea of eating an animal, one, doesn't feel sustainable. It feels very cruel, and it goes a lot against what I truly believe. So I've just honestly blocked those thoughts out, and I've thought, I probably am low in iron. So then I would make sure that I eat plant-based iron, and that just means it comes from legumes and lentils and leafy green vegetables, and you have to consume it with a vitamin C because it's non-heme iron, so it's not as readily available for the body. So you have to add vitamin C, so then it becomes more readily available. And I would do that. But also, legumes and lentils don't actually sit very well with a lot of bodies. For me, they actually do mostly feel good. Depends if they've been washed, soaked, whatever the thing is. Mostly legumes and lentils feel really good for me. But for Zach, they actually don't. He gets gassy, he gets uncomfortable. So basically, what I have realized is I've stopped cooking as many and having less in my diet, which is obviously now why I have low iron and having that deficiency. Anyway, I've just been having these occasional thoughts of, I wonder what it would be like to eat meat. And then what happens is I think about I get the idea of my preferred meat source and I think about it and I think about putting it into my mouth, and then I'm deterred and I get this really gross feeling in my mouth and my body. I think I've thought about meat 5 times in the last 12 months. And after having the conversation with the naturopath, I've had a conversation with a couple of friends. I've just started to go, what would it look like if I started to eat meat? And then I go, no, I couldn't do it. I can't kill an animal. Right now, I want to cry because the idea of killing an animal is so hard for me. We will go crayfishing, go diving for crayfish. And my friend's probably going to laugh if they listen to this. I so badly wanted to catch crayfish because I honestly think it's one of the most tastiest things that come out of the ocean. And in Geraldton, if you are a Gerald local, you know that they are thick. They are just inside the water. You go into 2 meters of water and they're there. I would try so hard to catch one. And as soon as I've grabbed hold of it, I'd let go. I couldn't because I just knew that I would be then killing it. And I remember one time I went out on the boat with my friends and we went crayfishing and they had the pots and everything. And basically we all got to take a bag home. So I think I had 8 or 10. I can't remember what the limit is. Anyway, it was within the limit. And I took the bag home, and you have to take them home alive and then you have to put them in the freezer. And as I put them in the freezer, I cried because I just felt like it was so inhumane to freeze a living being to death. Anyway, so I've just been on this journey about like how hard I find it to kill an animal. And yeah, there's this part of me that I find it really hard. Anyway, we were out at dinner the other night, and I've been speaking to Zach about this whole, like, I've been thinking about meat, had this dream about meat. When I walked past the butcher, I thought about this meat that I used to eat as a kid. And we went to dinner the other night, and he had chicken and I had tofu. And I said to him, can I taste a bit of your chicken? And he looks at me and he's like, are you sure? I'm like, no, I'm just kidding. And I was like, where did that come from? And then I was like, hang on, no, actually, can I just taste it? Can I just smell it? So then I smelled it and I put it back down. I was like, oh, don't know. And then I think about putting it in my mouth. I'm like, yuck. And then I'm eating my tofu, blah, blah, blah. And I just was like, kept thinking about like, why do I keep thinking, like, what is going on? What is happening? So then I was like, okay, Zach, can I please have a bite of your chicken? And he just thinks that this is a game. And I'm just like, I'm just going through this whole bodily, emotional, like, process about eating an animal. So I take a bite of the chicken. I've been pescatarian for 11 years and I take a bite of chicken. And I chew it up and it didn't taste terrible. I've always still liked the smell of chicken. It's a lot of other meats that I think smell really bad. Like, if I smell a barbecue, or like if I smell like bolognese meat cooking, I'm like, that is the rankest thing I've ever smelled. Bacon, I think that smells like cancer. But like chicken, I've always been like, it smells fine. It smells good. It smells like my childhood, like summer lunches with the family. So I take a bite of this chicken, chew it up, taking the flavors, taking the texture. Then I start thinking, that's a freaking animal. So I spat it back out. We're at a restaurant. And yes, I spat the food out somewhat gracefully, I will have you know. And then I was like, okay, it wasn't too bad, but that's so weird. That's so weird to have that in my mouth. What am I doing? And then I was like, right, back to my tofu. Kept eating my dinner. I was like, okay, Zach, can I please have another bite of your chicken? And he's just like, what is going on? Like, if you're going to eat it. Like, don't waste it. And I'm like, you don't understand. Like, this is so weird for me. This is so weird. Like, I've been off meat for 11 years. And even as a kid, I didn't love meat. Or even just growing up, I didn't love meat. So then I took a bite of his chicken, chewed it up, tasted it, and swallowed it. Yeah, so that happened. I feel really weird. I chatted to my mum a bit about it. She's like, that must feel weird for you. And this does not mean that I'm now a meat eater. It doesn't mean everything's changing. Doesn't mean I'm like, I don't know what this means. I have no idea. I just know I really struggle with the idea of killing an animal. And also, I've lived 11 years knowing that my health thrives off a pescatarian diet. It's just that I've been limiting some other things because obviously they don't, like, I'm feeding 2 people in the evening, or like we're cooking together, or Zach's cooking. I haven't been having as many of the meals that I usually cook because I just don't sit well with him. So I don't know what this means. I don't know what the hell is going on, but I ate chicken, which is freaking wild. Wild to me. I honestly thought the day would never come. I don't even know, like, if I'm going to go eat meat again. Like, I actually have no idea. I just thought I would share this because, I don't know. I feel like I know a lot of people, and even like when I think about the people that I used to follow who were vegan in like 2014, 2013, 2015, that like I would watch on YouTube, and like even friends and whoever that I knew back then that were vegan, they're actually now either, pescatarian or back to fully eating animal products. So very interesting. And I've watched all of their journeys and I still enjoy following them. I don't base my friendships around what you eat or if you eat animals or not. But it's just been interesting to me because I would always watch and go, I wonder if that will ever happen to me. I wonder if I'll ever have that moment where I'm like, cool, I'm going to eat meat again. Or like I have watched girls and they've had issues with their iron and they've started eating meat again. So I'm like, is that happening to me? Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling because that's basically it. I ate chicken for the first time in 11 years and I feel very weird about it. I'm not sure what's happening from here. And that's it. That was my rogue dinner outing the other night. I was going to talk about dating a FIFO partner, but I think I want questions from you guys first before I speak to it, because maybe I could actually do a podcast on it. For those that don't know, I did mining for like 8 to 9 years. I was FIFO, Dido. I've done all the things with FIFO. I've done mine sites, oil rigs. I've done everything. And I feel like working away is quite easy for me. It's easy because I've done it for so long. It's easy because I've done it for so many years. But is it enjoyable? That's the other question. And I think that's what I want to unpack. Now, for someone who dates someone in FIFO, it's totally different, because I used to be the one that would go away, or I would date the person on the mine site or the rig, whatever. Now Zach goes away and I stay at home. And it's really interesting to see the dynamic, and especially like male versus woman. Yeah, maybe I'll just do a podcast on it. So if you have any questions about dating in FIFO or working in FIFO, let me know, because I did 8 to 9 years of it. I feel like I've got a pretty good handle on it. I wouldn't say that I hated it. Like, I loved FIFO for such a long time. I love the lifestyle aspect of it, because you can have a whole week away, and because I am such a traveler, it was perfect for me. It was pretty good money, especially when I started contracting. So yeah, I feel like I've got a pretty good amount of experience to speak to mining. So let me know if you have any FIFO questions. Right, let's get into today's topic. That has been the longest intro ever. If you are uninterested about these updates, I'm so sorry. Okay, let's talk about 3 things that you absolutely have to stop eating because it's ruining your energy. So like I said at the beginning of this podcast, this is for those people who are like, I just feel tired after I eat. I'm just tired, I'm lethargic, and I don't know what to eat. Here are 3 things that you need to stop doing because it's just ruining your energy. If you feel like you eat a meal and you're like, oh, I feel so tired, or if you're like trying to not eat because you're trying to restrict calories and you're just feeling like, bleh, I've got lots of answers for you. So the first thing that you need to absolutely stop doing is eating the same thing all the time. If you are eating the same thing over and over and over again, getting the same fruit, the same veg, the same meat every single week, you are missing out on so much micronutrients for your energy. If you think about macros is like what your body looks like. Your micro is how your energy feels. If you are not getting enough vitamins, minerals from your fruits and vegetables and your nuts and seeds, legumes and proteins, you're going to feel lethargic. You're not going to feel energetic. You need to be getting in your citrus, your colorful vegetables. Aim to go to the fruit and veg shop and get a different fruit and veg every single week, whether it's 1 or 2. Whatever it is, you don't have to change the world, but stop eating the same thing every single week, because you're going to start lacking in certain vitamins and minerals. This is something that I really noticed with my iron intake, because I noticed that I'm not eating as much iron-rich foods and getting the combinations in properly, because I just honestly was prioritizing my partner's dinners instead. Just make sure that you are reaching for new fruits and vegetables every single week. So then you're not eating the exact same every single time. If you never eat a citrus fruit, you're not going to be getting vitamin C. If you're getting sick really often, up your vitamin C, get more garlic into your diet. Capsicums have really high vitamin C. So make sure that you are reaching for a really wide variety. You always hear this saying about eating the rainbow. That's because if you eat more colors, you're just getting more micronutrients. If you never eat, say, Brazil nuts, it's really hard to get your selenium in. If you don't eat any leafy green vegetables, it's hard to get like calcium in. Or there's also protein in dark leafy vegetables and iron. Like, you have to eat such a wide variety to make sure that all your vitamins and minerals are nice and high, so your immunity is strong and your energy is really strong. So that's the first thing we all need to stop doing. Stop eating the same thing every single week. If you are eating the same thing every week and you've got a huge wide variety, then that's actually probably good. But I'm talking to the people that are like, all I get is apple and bananas, and I eat peas, corn and carrot every single night, or I only eat broccoli and mashed potato every single night. Like, branch out. Get some more fruits and vegetables into your diet. Another thing that I really think is, it's not as common as it used to be. Like, I feel like people are getting a lot smarter with their food, but I feel like it's still happening. I've witnessed it, and especially in the older generation, is not allowing yourself carbohydrates. It is your brain's preferred fuel source. If you are limiting your carbs, you're limiting your energy. If you think about any athlete, they are eating high carbs because that is where energy comes from. And that is your brain and your body's preferred source of using your energy. So make sure that you are allowing carbs. If you are following any type of meal plan, any type of regime, and it's cutting out a macro, like if it's cutting out fats, carbs, or protein, stop following it. You need all three macronutrients to feel energetic and to feel and fuel all of your cells. Carbs, protein, and fat all fuel certain cells within your body, and you need all of them. So make sure you're allowing yourself carbs. Bread, pasta, pizza is not the enemy. If you're gaining weight and you think it's from bread, it's because you're eating too many calories. Calories in versus calorie out, we all know. It's just whether or not we do it. So make sure that you allow yourself carbs. Like if you want to eat pizza, eat pizza. Should you eat pizza every single night? No, absolutely not. We need a wide variety of micronutrients. So make sure you're getting a wide variety of carbs. This is potato, sweet potato, pumpkin. Pretty much most of your fruit and veg have carbs in them. Apples, grapes, strawberries have a small amount, oranges, carrots, literally all of this have carbs in them. Then yeah, you've got rice, brown rice, black rice, pasta. You've got those lentil pastas, which also aren't just protein, they're a carb as well. Bread, crumpets, like bagels. You're allowed to have carbs. Carbs is not the problem. Eating too much is the problem. Now, if you're listening to this and you're like, no, I actually don't eat much and I am still gaining weight, there's an underlying problem. So reach out if there is that and I can send you in the right direction. But carbs is not the issue. I feel like I still hear things about people cutting off their carbs and then they feel tired and lethargic and they have no energy, no zazz. It's because you don't have enough carbs in your body. Give yourself some carbs to have some energy. Now, the third thing is, and this is something that I've been trialing and I really try and limit, but the third thing that we really need to stop eating, because it's ruining more than just our energy, but numbers, additives, preservatives, anything that is in your food that really shouldn't be there, because it's just ruining our hormones, our skin, our digestive system, which then is our skin, our brain. Literally, these types of things are not good for the body. Now, I'm not saying you have to go and eat 100% clean, because I do not, but I live off of an 80-20 rule. 80% amazing, 20% fun. I do think life is here to enjoy food as well. So having things like chocolate and whatever the things are that you want to treat yourself with, still have your treats, but 80% eat really well. And that is going to allow you to feel really good. If you're eating Maccas, things from packets, chips, crackers, sweets, chocolates, drinks, fizzies, literally anything in a packet from the shop, check the ingredients. There will be some sort of additive, number, color, natural flavoring. It's none of that is actually doing you very good. Now, I would say start really small here, because I did the 75 hard challenge last year and I'd always thought that I was quite conscious of what I was buying. But when I did the 75 hard challenge and I put the challenge out there to not have any additives, no preservatives, no numbers, oh my God, my world just opened another chapter. There are additives and things in so many foods. Even when it says coconut milk, you look on the back and what's there? Gar gum extract or preservative, EO4 or whatever it is. Try and start eating more whole foods, less processed stuff. Watch your energy change. Get rid of Maccas. Stop eating people that are still eating Maccas. Oh my God, please stop. It is not doing any part of your body good. I'm not saying never ever have it, because yeah, live 80-20, but like choose something else. And the thing that I'm really noticing with this generation coming through is like so many period issues, skin issues, everyone's bloated, everyone's moody. And this can all be affected from what we're putting into our body, because your gut is basically, there's people that say it's your first brain, because what you eat you put into all of your other cells. You send to your brain cells, you send to your heart, you send to your blood, you send to your skin, you send to your hormone health. Like everything you eat has some sort of influence onto your body. Really take this one slowly because it is very overwhelming, but every time you reach for something in the supermarket, turn it around, look at the ingredients, not the fat, carbs, protein section, look at the ingredients. The Australian rule is that they have to list the order of the ingredients in the highest amount first. So the first 3 ingredients should not be sugar. If the first 3 ingredients is a type of sugar, put it back on the shelf. Find the next best option. They have to list the ingredients in the percentage that is within the food. Now on the front of the pack, Australia don't have any food rules. They can put pretty much whatever they want on the front of the packet. It might say low fat, low sugar, low carbs, no fat, no carb, like whatever the thing is. They can pretty much put anything onto the packet. There isn't really any law or legislation around it. It's on the back, those ingredients. They have to list what's in it in order of percentage of what's in the food. And then they have to list all of the micros in there. Protein, carbs, fats, sugars, trans fats, all of those things. That's what you want to read, not the front of the packet. Do not believe anything that's on the front of the packet. Read it, what's on the back. And when you start really noticing what's in your food, and when you actually start eating more whole foods, this is such a big change and you will notice it pretty quickly. And then when you do go and have your macros, or you do go out for pizza or Japanese or whatever you go out for, you will then notice how crap you feel after the meal and the next day. And then you go, oh, eating whole foods is actually really good for me. So those are the 3 things that if you are like, what the hell do I eat? I don't feel great, or I'm just at a loss with my food, or things feel really overcomplicated. Start with these 3 things. Eat a really wide range of fruits and vegetables. It's going to give you the vitamins and the minerals that you need to have energy and to fuel all of your cells, your bodily cells, with the right amount of energy that they need. The second thing is allow yourself to have carbohydrates. They are not the devil. They are not the reason that you're gaining weight. It's other things. It's eating too much or whatever the health issue is. Give yourself some carbs. This is where energy comes from. And the last one is try and eat as less amount of numbers, preservatives, additives that you possibly can. Start looking on the back of your food packets and start being conscious about what you're putting into your body. Remember, what you feed into your body feeds into your cells. And if you want to feel like you're thriving and energetic, it has to be what we just spoke about. So if that has inspired you, please let me know. And don't forget, send this to someone where you think that they might be overcomplicating food right now, or they're at a loss, or they're not feeling great. Send it to them and we can spread the message of how we can just keep food super simple and to share the right information, because there are so many uneducated people out there telling you what to eat, what not to eat. So make sure that if you know someone that is eating the same thing all the time, they're restricting their carbs and they're eating a lot of takeout, a lot of additives and numbers and whatnot, send this to them, because they are only going to thank you for it and they're only going to feel better. So then everyone can just live a more happy, healthy and thriving life. Okay. I'm going to leave you there. Don't forget, if you have any FIFO questions, leave it in the comments below and I can answer them. Now, until next week, enjoy your life and do the things that make your heart happy and shine in your authenticity. Bye.